Hi, welcome to AM Prime. It is a brand new day and we are excited to be here. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for really giving us your support and all your appreciation by tuning in. We appreciate you. We hope you had a great weekend. We hope that whatever you did, you were safe, that you spent it in the company of friends and loved ones, and that you're ready to get this week started with us. Now, our mornings always start with inspiration. And the inspirational bit this morning is going to be love in action, not just in words, but in deeds. We know that love is a noun, but it can also be a verb. I looked at a service yesterday, and one of the things that they talked about was love in action, making sure that when you say you love, when you do things, let it be driven by love, not by anger, not by complaining, not by worry, but your focus is love, being kind to each other, being kind to ourselves. So that's your inspirational bit this morning. We have so many things in store for you today, including talking to the Heroes Foundation about the amazing work that they're doing, talking to the ministry about the 40 Under 40 program. We're also going to be talking to an artist who has an upcoming show and a creative in light of International Women's Day, which is going to be celebrated on Wednesday the 8th. We're going to go to a video, our watch this for today, and it's in vein with keeping with International Women's Day. It's a poem by Ariel John, and it's called How to Not Swallow Your Voice. Let's watch.
This is our 2 cents on speaking out.
Who you feel you is? You have nothing good to say? Why you don't shut up?
How to Not Swallow Your Voice by Mistake. 1. Remember your tongue is made of muscle, able to lift a whole people with the strength of its hopeful, but that the idol of words would only wake weakness behind the prison it makes of your jaw. 2. Remind yourself that you were born like this, that the creator of the universe whispered breath into your being, carved a source for your speech, and gave sound to your speaking. Nothing unused remains available for long. 3. Remember the legacy giving faith to your lungs, that those who come before you and plant their songs in your sleep, whose footsteps you mimic, who had you summoned from the mustard seed of your mother, they with hands clasped together in their desperate, waiting for some savior of their children, some prophet worthy enough to be the outcast in his or her homeland. 4. That your voice is more resource than reservoir, that your throat will not be turned into a gas chamber of words fermenting like last month in your mouth, that there will be no hindrance in your fluency to talk. Truth has a way of keeping its secrets public. 5. Remember the music of your insides and not how it comes out, that your native tongue should feel like home, and hood settled between your teeth should bury their bags into your gums and vow to never leave. Something about the way you speak accentuates the steep in your soul. 6. Remember the traffic of air in your chest when fear froze you. Remember the not being able to move or swallow or say anything. Blank, staring statue in your most off-guard moment. How we confront ourselves in silence like hermits, praying in a language only fit for the ears of God. 7. Sometimes when you shout, it only gets people to hear how loud you are. 8. That energy is neither created nor destroyed, but transferred from word into work, and there are some voids in life that cannot always be filled up by words. And so if you're not doing anything, then you're not doing anything, and that nothingness will quiet you. 9. Never bite off more than you can chew at once. It is the easiest way to stifle yourself, and that out-of-breath behavior will force silence down your mouth. 10. Do not pretend you found something precious enough to lose yourself in pursuing it. 11. That whatever you commit to with words will bind itself to you, like the hinges of your bones, and hold you accountable, despite the best disclaimer you could ever come up with. And after 12 months of being in transit to the woman my spirit was waiting on me to become, there's just something about pressure that forces you to breathe through your mouth, and I feel like I just learned how to speak again.
That was a truly beautiful poem telling us about using our voice. And as we celebrate International Women's Day this entire week, the lead up to it and after, we are reminded to use our voice as women, to understand that we have a place in society. We're important, we are necessary. We take a short break. When we come back, we have so much more in store for you.
Did you know that polycystic ovarian syndrome, or PCOS, is one of the most common issues faced by women of reproductive age in Trinidad and Tobago?
So we see more patients with polycystic if they're obese, but there are the small-built patients who also have polycystic ovaries.
What other treatment options are there available for these girls? What's Up Doc, every Tuesday and Thursday on WESN, Content Capital.
The issue, the continued rise in the price of flour and its impact on the cost of living in Trinidad and Tobago. How should we go about it? I want to ask you, what has been revealed to you about the state of vulnerability in the country because of this exercise and because of what we're going through? Is the government losing the war on the vaccine front?
The discussion should revolve around the common good for the greatest number of people in Trinidad and Tobago.
How do we inculcate a sense of respect and regard for people who may not be of your own political ilk or persuasion?
The communities are now being used by political opportunists. So
when the tables are turned, it's the same way. Okay, this has been 10 Questions. I'm Andy Johnson, and we'll see you next time.
What's the best way to grab the attention of viewers?
Please exercise more patience. You have to be kidding me.
Doing what we do best.
I'll say at the very least it's a conspiracy of laziness against the people.
Join me, Keaton Shaw.
And me, Sean Michael Small, for Talking Point.
Weekdays from 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m.
We go in-depth on the trending issues and engage the most controversial newsmakers
as we get them to account to the people for their actions.
You can't go to the government with nothing. You can't go to cabinet with an empty hand, with a wish.
I'm glad that we're having this a sober, mature discussion.
In the present situation, I expect a continuation of the chaos.
Join us for the discussion, Mondays to Fridays,
only on WESN,
the Content Capital.
With society plagued by a host of issues, with debates surrounding our urgent concerns falling short, with questions of our future not always being answered,
the conversation continues. Join me, Kemuel Pascal, as the voice of the youth comes to life. We will confront the controversial topics of today's world to gain answers that are key for a better tomorrow. One and One with me, Kemuel Pascal. Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Only on WESN Content Capital.
People really want to know, what about me? Where do I fit? Yes. What is in the ride for me in terms of a better Trinidad and Tobago? And I'm pleased to shed some light on that.
The purpose of bail is to ensure your attendance at court. That's it. It is not punitive. It is not rehabilitative.
We, the police officers, we are professional, and we are here for whenever the survivor is ready to come forward.
We have the right to private and family life, the right to religious freedoms and beliefs and thoughts and expression. But these rights are not absolute. Certain rights can be limited.
The law is to govern the whole. It's for all of us in public.
Bill and Ruth fell in love with the Benjamin Moore color Dry Sage, but they tried to match it using another brand's paint.
I mean, it's close enough.
Almost identical, really. Yeah, there it is.
Never trust another paint to be a Benjamin Moore color.
Know the signs of fraudulent investment. Follow the ABCs of investing. Ask questions. Beware of investment fraud. And check with the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission first to verify that the individual and investment are registered. Protect you and your loved ones from investment fraud.
Is it politics? What is it? Is it that nobody cares about sports?
The kind of support that sport used to get in the past is no longer here.
The thing is, taking a knee doesn't mean that that's the only thing you're doing on it.
Right.
Taking a knee along with other stuff.
Samantha, what are you looking forward to when you return home to Trinidad and Tobago after winning the title?
Thank you very much for speaking it into existence.
Is there no pressure on Nicholas Ball?
It makes me more motivated to work hard and to go out there and rep the red, white and black.
Why are we sending a team to the Winter Olympics?
There are a number of Trinbagonians who are in the diaspora and have grown up in winter sport. It's an opportunity that the Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Committee will not close the door on.
I also believe in the players that we have. Once you can motivate the players, you can get the best out of them.
Take some time for yourself or spend some time with the family at Sandy Point Village Hotel. Enjoy our various studio and suite apartments, self-contained with their own kitchenettes and Wi-Fi. We also have our famous 100-foot swimming pool and our beachfront restaurant, the Steak and Lobster Grill. And our location in Crown Point puts us near the center of activity from the nylon pool to the local nightlife. Call us and make your reservations at 639-8533, 389-2378 or email us at sandypointvillagehotel@gmail.com.
Hi, welcome back with us. So before we go into our interviews today, I want to go through the papers. It's a news day, and just see what would have taken place over the weekend and for today as well. And, you know, we're seeing that the headline, a young father among two shot dead in Mount Hope, killed near newborns. And this is the second case where we've seen that, you know, someone has been shot in front of their children. And we're seeing that the crime is continuing to escalate. And we understand that this is a real problem and it requires real solutions. It is unfortunate for these families, what they're going through. And the thing about it is that sometimes you can only understand the pain and understand how real and severe these situations are when it hits home, unfortunately. You know, we're hoping for some sort of solution. We're hoping that, you know, the crime is sorted. It's ridiculous now. You know, it's ridiculous now. We're also seeing, you know, where persons would have been injured in a crash in Gasparilla, unfortunately. You know, we're seeing so many things happening. In the midst of the bad, there is the good. And we're grateful for the good, but we're hoping that the bad can be eliminated. All right, so we have our guests in with us for the first interview this morning, and we're talking to the ministry about the 40 Under 40 program. Here with us and joining us later, we have another guest, Richie, but right now we're speaking to Taddy Boom. Taddy Boom, good morning.
Good morning, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm great.
All right.
Good to be alive, man. Wonderful morning.
Yes, wonderful morning. So talk to us about the 40 Under 40 program in terms of your involvement as a youth development influencer.
All right, so it's simple, basically. One day, basically, I saw a call for people to register to be influencers. That's what we are. And what are influencers? They call us movers and shakers. We are young entrepreneurs, professionals, sportsmen and women, designers. Basically, it is on us to help other young persons coming up and get perspective on career options. Yeah, so the program is intended to provide a platform for young people to be supported in areas of personal and professional development. So that's where I come in and my other peers. Going to the schools, we have conversation with the students, we share on them on topics of national service, self-esteem, conflict resolution, and these things. And it's an awesome thing, and I love giving back, and I feel proud to be a part of such a program.
Right, because I was going to ask you, like, how do you feel being selected as an influencer for this program? You know, this is an important role. There is a lot of value in being chosen as someone who is seen as a mentor, a leader for young people. So tell us about that for you.
I feel it's humbling. I'm really not sure of how many people may have signed up or probably sent in some form of request to be a part of it, but being chosen, it really says to me that, hey, somebody know that you're doing good work. Because I've been doing work for the longest while. It's another organization called Massive Foundation Boys to Men. And that's another mentorship program, and I've been doing that for over 10 years. So just doing this with the Ministry of Youth and National Service is just another partner, basically. Another way to do the good work that I do and do the work that other amazing people of Trinidad and Tobago do. I say to everyone, if you want better, you have to start right there in your small circle.
Yes.
Try and affect the person next to it.
Yeah. I love how you said that, because my next question to you was, why is this initiative necessary? Why is something like this so important in the schools, in the school system among the youth?
I can say this speaking from a personal place. When I was in secondary school, it had nothing like this. You would have was a simple, typical career day. And as well as just having a career day, especially the secondary school I attended, there weren't, because one of the things I appreciate about the 40 Under 40 program, it involved the discipline of entertainment. The fraternity of entertainment is there. Myself is there. Sonny Bling is there. Right? And I can't remember nobody from a radio station or television or anything like that coming into my secondary school to speak about their journey. So now it is a wider spectrum. It is broad. So how I see it working, how I see it important as well is because we're giving the youth students of the day options.
Yes.
The options you have more power. You are emboldened. You can do more. You can go further. Also, a lot of people are unaware that they have help out here. You have company. It is not just you, and you are not the only person that's going through what you're going through. It's always the same thing. Different characters, a different cast, different faces, but the bottom line is the same. And if someone can help you along the way to make that easier, to lessen the burden, the 40 Under 40 program is such a program. And the importance of it is to let everyone know you're not alone. You have help. And you want to make the place better. That's it.
Very powerful. I love how you said that, and as well as I'm hearing that, you know, representation is of vital importance. Being able to see someone who's in a career that may not have been seen as something viable in the past, but now you're seeing persons in media, you're seeing entertainers, and I think that's so important, that representation aspect of things. Yes. All right. So joining us as well for this interview is also Rishi Bansraj, who is the Youth Development Associate, of Ministry of Youth Development and National Service. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me, everyone.
No problem. I want to bring you in one time. You know, we spoke to Taddy Boom about representation, about his role as a youth development influencer. And we also want to speak to you now, just backtrack a bit about why this program was created. What is the objectives of this program, and also the ministry itself it falls under? What is the objective of the ministry?
For sure. Let's start with the Ministry of Youth Development and National Service. So the Ministry of Youth Development and National Service, or MYDNS, MyDNS as plenty of people call it, was established in August 2020. So a relatively young ministry with the primary focus to advance developmental opportunities for youth, create a supportive entrepreneurial environment, and to promote national service. So that is about the ministry. Okay. And you asked also about the program itself?
Yes, correct.
So the program itself, the 40 Under 40 program was developed by the Ministry of Youth Development and National Service in collaboration with the Ministry of Education, with the main purpose of this project, this program, to promote positive youth development in Trinidad and Tobago. So this program creates a platform for youth of Trinidad and Tobago to be supported in 3 areas: personal development, professional development, and entrepreneurial development. As you have these key stakeholders like Mr. Taddy Boom here.
Right.
This of the program itself will be delivered at secondary school level throughout Trinidad and Tobago, and it addresses pillars 2 and 8 of the National Youth Policy 2020 to 2025. Pillar 2 being harnessing youth intellectual and social capital, and pillar 8 being creating an enable environment for positive youth development in Trinidad and Tobago as a whole.
Right. I love the 3 components, especially the entrepreneurship part of it, because that's something that you see is a trend and a theme now. You know, now it's being celebrated to create your own avenue to bring in revenue. Now it's being celebrated to be a leader in that sense. Tell us about the impact that this program has had, because I know that this program happened before, so this is another run of it. Tell us about that, you know, the impact that you would have seen happening.
So the impact is very long-lasting, and it also creates a snowball effect where the teachers and principals, we start at the school level, the teachers and principals tend to adapt something similar on their own and do it in their own schools after the fact that we have left.
Nice.
And also the students themselves, as we do follow-up with monitoring and evaluation and so on, we realize that these students actually take some of the information and actually change their lives and steer their lives in the correct direction. Some of them actually keep in contact with the youth development influencers, which gives them a better, even better streamline into the area that they want to, a link, as they call it, as to whichever career opportunity that they want to be in, if it's business, if it's working somewhere or wherever. So the program itself is very impactful when it comes to this age group of young people, because it guides them accordingly, and it provides things that the school doesn't necessarily provide. And yeah, it's basically a very successful program so far, and we have to keep doing the monitoring evaluation as we keep going by. Right. For next year, we want to continue this program. We want to keep having this program for the next few years going on.
Yes, yes. It seems like a very impactful program. Where can persons who are listening to this, you know, get more information on the program, you know, follow up on how the outcome, and even possibly join on as a mentor influencer for the next cohort? Where can they get that information?
That's a very good question, and we love to have many more new, fresh faces of the influencers coming on board. So the Ministry of Youth Development and National Service can be accessed on all social media platforms via our handles, which is at MYDNSTT on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. And the 40 under 40 also has its own handle, which is at 40 under 40, which is FORTY UNDER 40. So it's not the 40 under 40 like that. So, and you can also contact the ministry via phone by 619-9367. That's 619-9367. And you could also message on the ministry's website, so www.mydns.gov.tt. And you can go to the contact us page and you'll be able to send a direct message to the ministry through there.
Nice. I know I asked Taddy Boom earlier, but I want to ask you as well, in terms of having, positive influences. We've seen, in recent, where something like that could happen, where someone may not be aligned brand-wise, to the best that is needed. How important is it for this program in this time in particular to have influencers whose brand, whose lifestyle lines up with the message that you want to send to these youth in these schools?
This is why, a very good question. This is why we streamline who we choose. We pick and choose very meticulously the people like Thady Boom himself, who have outstanding things, who have done outstanding things in their communities and in Trinidad and Tobago as a whole, because these people are taking their time, they're volunteering their time here to contribute to the youth and to help the youth, guide the youth. So I would say that we already handpicked these people because we know that they will be very, very effective in dealing and treating with these young people, because these young people are considered at-risk young people. Yeah. So we want to just have them streamlined in that way. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We wish you all the best with this program. We would love to follow up with you as well to see how it has been doing. And we just hope for great success. Thank you, Mr. Bansraj. Thank you, Taddy Boom, for joining us.
It's a problem. Thank you for having us.
No problem.
Yes, thank you very much.
Capital.
No problem.
I really appreciate it.
We take a short break. When we come back, we have lots more in store.
FanZone, your reliable, authentic supplier, has just gotten better. You can now visit our website www.fanzonett.com for your authentic wear and collectibles. The only place where you can use both your Visa debit and credit cards. Visit our website fanzonett.com to make your purchase today.
The best birthday gifts are at dbesttoys.com. Shop for the best brands you love at the best prices. Like VTech, Leapfrog, Fisher-Price, Play-Doh, Hot Wheels, Barbie, Cocomelon, LOL, Baby Alive, Crayola.
Visit us in-store at Forces Flagship MacBean. Shop online now at dbesttoys.com. Order via call or WhatsApp at 32DBEST to order. And remember, we have the best toys at the best prices.
Maybe he landed here totally by coincidence. But if by chance he's admiring your fresh coat of Benjamin Moore soft sky blue, well, that's a pretty high compliment. Coming from an expert.
Every word, every line, Every paragraph depicts a real moment in someone's life. A father, a sister, a mother, a brother. We at Newsday are dedicated to you, the people, and through independent, unwavering journalism, strive to always bring your stories to life. Because your stories are more than just words. Newsday, independent and credible.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. Our next guest is Noelle Archer, educator, performer, and she's going to join us to talk about her events, talk about International Women's Day. Noelle, thank you for being here with us virtually.
Thank you for having me.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
All right. So for those who aren't familiar, tell us who Noelle Archer is.
So I am Noelle Archer, a performing artist and educator. I embrace culture and I love to learn about the arts, performing arts in particular. So I am firstly a singer and a vocal coach. And then I also act and I dance, I still walk, I play the steel pan with Phase 2. That's Noelle Archer.
Wow. Noelle, there is no limit to your creativity, we're realizing. How are you able to balance all of these hats that you wear?
I prioritize, firstly.
Okay.
A show always is more important than a rehearsal, so I'll make sure that I am. Also, I schedule so that I won't be double booking myself.
Understood. Now, the title of your show, it's Roots of Passion. What are you most passionate about?
So Roots of Passion, it allows me to explore music with my friends and family. Music is my passion, right? And in this show, I'm able to express myself as a woman, as a Black woman, and explore music that I've written throughout the years. Mm-hmm. Also allow my friends and family, well, when I say friends and family, it's performing artists that I know for years.
Right.
So my sister will be performing with me. Me and her is the Archer sisters combined,
yes.
You know? So that's what this show is allowing me to express myself.
Nice. As you mentioned your sister, I know you're one part of the Archer sisters. When was this passion for music first discovered within yourself?
So I became aware of it in my 20s.
Okay.
And I got to realize that that's all I want to do with my life. So I stopped working full-time and I went to UTT and I studied music as a degree to pursue it full-time.
Okay.
Performing full-time.
Okay. And if you had to describe your sound and your style of music, what would that be?
So some people, I guess to have a sound is to pretty much categorize you, right?
Right.
But I do just about everything, right? So I do soca, I do gospel, I do rap, R&B. But because I have a great singing voice, I get put into the category of R&B or Caribbean fusion.
Okay.
So jazz audience is better able to appreciate what I do.
Understood. So it's a nice blend.
It's a blend.
Okay. Now, this International Women's Day, which we're celebrating on March 8th, the UN Women and the United Nations are celebrating under the theme Digicel, which is innovation and technology for gender equality. Not too long ago, we faced the pandemic, and we had to adapt and shift, and gatherings such as the one that you're having for the event wasn't possible at all. How have you been able to navigate that space from the pandemic into now having an event? And what sorts of things have you been able to innovate and use technology in the midst of your planning and delivery for this event?
So over the pandemic, that was heartbreak for us performers and educators, not able to see people face to face. It was challenging, right? What I did do over the pandemic, however, is I did some online concerts.
Okay.
was able to allow my creativity to flow still. And Kerwin Dubois had a project called Spot.
Right.
And in that project, I was able to meet a team of other talents, singers, songwriters, producers throughout the world. And I was able to continue developing my craft. So coming out of that, I have like new music. I have more confidence in terms of my songwriting.
Okay.
And so it was really good to do Roots of Passion to be unearthed last year.
Right.
So this is actually a repeat of that show, Roots of Passion, a deeper unearthing.
Mm-hmm.
This year, where I am able to explore with some other friends. So the show it's the same show, as in there's a lot of the same content, but there is some new stuff to be seen, right? And I think not being able to see people face to face, now you have a deeper appreciation for technology. So, for example, this interview is online, right?
Yes, correct.
So I'm able to meet people. You're able to not always see face to face for everything, you know? I'm able to appreciate that coming out of the pandemic.
Right, nice. Now, before we get into the details of the events, we want to talk about Archers Academy. So just go through that with us. Tell us about how that was created and where persons can get more information on that.
Archers Academy for the Performing Arts is the school that was founded by myself and my sister during the pandemic.
Okay.
What happened is, as the pandemic hit, there was no work for me as a performing artist and no work as an educator.
Yeah.
And so I started to teach online, and that started to grow. And my sister and I always had a dream to have a school, right?
Okay.
So after a few months of doing everything online, I'm like, wait a minute. I already pretty much have a system in place. I already have a school. So we were able to begin the Archers Academy for the Performing Arts online during the pandemic, and now we're online and face to face.
And how's that going for you so far?
It's a transition. It's ups and downs, and I guess doing this, I'm able to tap more into like my management side, which I really run away from, but it's there and I can't. Yeah. So there's always a challenge, and when you have a challenge, you just have to pretty much solve it.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. All right, so let's get into details about this show. Where is this show happening? When is it happening? Where can persons purchase tickets?
The show Roots of Passion will be at Cafe Blue on Ryson Road, March 11th. That's this Saturday.
Okay.
You can get tickets at Cafe Blue. You can get at Crosby's and at Val Park Chinese Restaurant. You could also call the numbers on the flyer and contact those people to meet up and get tickets.
Okay, great. And if persons want to continue following Noel Archer and finding out what you're up to and how they can support, even about the academy, where can they find you on social media? Is there a contact number and email address? You want to share those details?
So you could contact Noel Archer, that's Noelle, Noel Archer, on any social media platform. At Noel Archer, and on Facebook, just type out Noel Archer, you find it, or at Noel Performance. You could email noelperformance@gmail.com. You could call 327-5254.
Okay, nice. Thank you so much for joining us, Noel. All the best to you with this event. We wish you great success. And we have a clip from a past performance that we're going to go into now. All right, so let's watch.
All right, we're good to go.
Right now I feel I could do anything. Right now my slate is brand new. I to hop on a boat and float all over the world. I can sit right here and chill with my people. Chill with the people I love, the people I love, the people I love who loves me. The people I love, the people I love, the people I love who love me. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Today I know you could be anywhere, anywhere. That's why I so appreciate you. 'Cause here you are standing, sitting, looking, listening. And this is the reason, the song I have to sing. You are the people I love, the people I love, the people I love who love me. The people I love, the people I love, the people I love who love me. Ooh, 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 the people I love, the people I love, the people I love who loves me. The people I love, the people I love, the people I love. So y'all gonna sing? The people I love, the people I love, the people I love who love me. The people I love, the people I love, the people I love. Your turn.
I am Rondell Donowa, attorney at law and host of Strictly Legal on WESN Content Capital. Strictly Legal is a legal program geared towards informing you, the public, of your legal rights, responsibilities, and remedies. So be viewing Thursdays, 10 a.m. to 10:30 a.m.
With society plagued by a host of issues, with debates surrounding our urgent concerns falling short, with questions of our future not always being answered,
the conversation continues. Join me, Kemuel Pascal, as the voice of the youth comes to life. We will confront the controversial topics of today's world to gain answers that are key for a better tomorrow. One and One with me, Kemuel Pascal. Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Only on WESN Content Capital.
Take some time for yourself or spend some time with the family at Sandy Point Village Hotel. Enjoy our various studio and suite apartments, self-contained with their own kitchenettes and Wi-Fi. We also have our famous 100-foot swimming pool and our beachfront restaurant, the Steak and Lobster Grill. And our location in Crown Point puts us near the center of activity from the nylon pool to the local nightlife. Call us and make your reservations at 639-8533, 389-2378 or email us at sandypointvillagehotel@gmail.com.
Did you know that polycystic ovarian syndrome, or PCOS, is one of the most common issues faced by women of reproductive age in Trinidad and Tobago?
So we see more patients with polycystic if they're obese, but there are the small belt patients who also have polycystic ovaries.
What other treatment options are there available for these girls? What's Up Doc, every Tuesday and Thursday on WESN Content Capital.
Thank you for staying with us. As we continue to celebrate women, we're leading up to International Women's Day on Wednesday, the 8th of March. Joining us via Zoom is Mary Coffey. She's an author, she's a fashion designer, she's an educator, she wears many hats, and she does it so well. Welcome to the program, Mary.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Thank you for joining us.
So let me just say a special good morning to Trinidad and Tobago and to all the women who are making a difference out there and who are actually trying to make a difference and in their own quiet way doing something to make a difference. Even those who might be at home, mothers making a difference. So I just want to say a very special good morning. We love you. We are looking at your accomplishments, your achievements, big or small, and I'm so happy to be here this morning.
I want to, as you mentioned that, and so well put, let me go to that question. What advice would you give, based on your own experience, what advice would you give to a woman who's nervous about launching out her career, who's nervous about penning that piece, nervous about publishing that book, producing that song? What advice would you give to that woman?
I would say just start. Just do it. For me, sometimes when you think about, is this the right time? Is this the right day? The advice is to just start. Just do it. It takes a lot to get started. And after you get started, the universe has so much power that things come together for you. So just start. Make that initial start, because many times we talk about, oh gosh, I have this dream, I would like to.
Yeah.
Yeah, take your pen out. Start to write. Just do it. Just get started.
Yeah.
And many times we want to delay because of the circumstances are not right. I don't think it will ever be right, you know. You just have to get started. Just do it. Believe.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and you really do have to believe in yourself and your dreams, huh?
Absolutely, 100%. What would have gotten you started on your journey?
Actually, I always give this story about my adversity. Actually got me started, you know, things weren't going well as I thought it would have. And I think that pushed me forward. And there's another message in moving forward. There's always a lesson to learn when things aren't going right. There's always a lesson to learn. It actually pushes you forward to see your true potential when things get very tough. So you actually launch out and do more. And that would be my reason for moving forward every time I think, here's what, this is very challenging. That's the time I think I push even harder. So I want to encourage you to, not only the ladies, but men who are watching out there, when it's tough, it's really not the time to stop. Huh? When it's tough, it's the time to push. I always remember this old saying, if you're mixing cement, you stop, you leave it there. It becomes hard.
Yes.
You know, so you just have to keep moving.
Keep moving, keep moving. I love how you put that. Tell us about your journey as a writer, the books, even the columns that you are able to produce, and, you know, why children's literature?
Well, I am a curriculum facilitator at the Ministry of Education. My studies are in early childhood. And more so in literature as well. That will be my master's. I love children's literature. I always say, this is a story I give all the time as well. When I was studying, it was hard to get children's literature. And I decided there and then I want to. Of course, it took me 7 years after to actually start doing it. But nevertheless, I have done it. So, you know, getting things out there. And sometimes, you know, I often hear parents complain about what they would need or what they want their child to learn about Trinidad. There are things that they don't know. And I think with a book, the experience is like, great, you're here, but but you're transported into another area through reading. So that's my reason for children's literature.
Right. What has been the impact and I guess the response, as you talked about what parents would want for the children to read, but what has been the response to the books that you have been able to produce thus far?
I'm very thankful. One, yes, I work at the Ministry of Education, so I interact with a lot of teachers and parents. For example, this carnival, I had to say no to some people because they want me to talk about carnival. They want me to come and talk about the magic sticks and how it come about. And I would have produced articles in the newspapers, especially the newsday, to talk about getting children involved in PAN as such from an early age and the benefits of music. Because all my books, the background to it would be some movement while they are learning. Because I think children are not just receptacles that you pour information into. So I like to see you, yes, enjoying a story, but I want to see you moving. I want to see you learning, but in a fun and enjoyable way. We don't want you to just sit in a classroom. We want learning to be fun. And we are as educators trying our best way to make learning fun and have the children not just sitting there. I also teach at the university, and even when I have the adults, I find different ways that I can teach and make my class enjoyable. Think about you leaving work and having to come and just listen to me lecture to you. And so I try to, because at that point in time, sometimes these are women who are really trying to move forward. And then you have your children, you have to go home to see about the husband. So I try to make my class very interactive and enjoyable.
Okay, nice. Let's switch gears a bit and let's talk about the other side, which is the designing of clothes. And the line is called Carry Your Water. Talk to us about Carry Your Water.
Well, the initial thing about Carry Your Water, really, more than the actual design, is, again, getting women to wear something that they feel comfortable in it. And, we all say, oh gosh, this part fat, here too small, here should be bigger. The idea was to design something that people is flowy and comfortable to wear. And again, my writing, which was supported by this poem that I wrote about women becoming themselves, living in a changing society. Even your bodies change. I say, I'm not as small as I used to be. I've gained so much weight. But all of that, after we have our children, how we look. So you wear something and then the logo, which is that empowerment, helping you carrying your water, because we all, different ethnicities, it's not an African thing. We all carry some sort of load, some sort of burden. And as sisters, we may not be related by blood, but how we help each other move along. So when you see someone in this thing, it's a sisterhood we are forming. They have this logo, and it's like, hey, I am here to help you. We're working together. That's what it was more about, more than, just selling these designs.
Right. So before we get into the piece that you wrote in celebration of International Women's Day, where can persons get more information on Mary Coffee, on your books, on the clothing line? Where can they find you on social media?
Well, for my books, I am on Facebook. And if you look for Lola and the Dancing Ladybugs, you can find me there. I post articles every Sunday. I have this feature going with the Newsday that I post every other Sunday with Lola. And you can also find me at the kids section in The Guardian. There almost every Sunday, posting and sharing. I'm thankful for those, let me just say publicly, who have reached out, who have sent me emails. So I'm thankful for that. Where it concerns my clothing, you can find me on Instagram at mary.coffee. Send me a message. I'm mostly available. So for all those who have supported, let me say thank you. The support has been great. So thank you, guys.
Okay, and now let's get into that piece that you wrote for International Women's Day.
Okay, so I was asked to do something, and you know, for me, I'm not a poet. I don't see myself as that, but more so someone who you feel inspired.
Yeah.
And you write.
Okay.
And I'm happy or I'm sad. So those are the two extremes where I can write. I can't do it in the middle. So I have written a few. I've never published any.
Okay.
And this poem is called The Digital Gender Divide, because that's the theme for this year. Going through the pandemic with my colleagues here, and they are more than colleagues because they are like sisters. You know, we were the role of having to change and do a lot of digital stuff during the pandemic has taught us so much. We have done things that we never know we could have done. And now, yes, we are not just using the internet to surf the net anymore.
Yeah.
It's much more than that for us as the So I will read my poem.
Yes.
And I hope you enjoy it. This is the hour of digital power. Looking at she using digital technology to build peace and reduce gender inequality. Once confined to home and marketplace, using smartphones smartly, using the internet not just to serve the net, but to facilitate and accommodate. How can she, with tremendous promise, serve the international community with widening access to technology, reducing social barriers and boosting the economy? Her finger is her voice, using the internet not just to serve the net. Let's welcome her proficiency in 2023. Global attention is the center for dissertation, moving the attention from only social communication via WhatsApp and social and Facebook and Instagram to meeting influencers over the diaspora, using the internet not just to serve the net. Since the evolution, there was a revolution to revolutionize the platform with a trending hashtag for gender equality. The pendulum swung, and now we're singing a new song. Let's talk inclusion in civil society. She's not just using the internet to serve the net. Let's put this in history. We're not the global average, we savage. Look at she in 2023, using the tools with proficiency, addressing global issues and political disparities, creating content to make other women aware that digital media has economic power. She's not just using the internet to serve the net.
I mean, my snap sounds as loud as I would like it to be, but thank you so much for sharing that with us, Mary. We appreciate you for joining this interview and sharing about yourself, your work, and then your piece.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure being here, and I hope you all are celebrated even more on Wednesday the 8th.
Yes, happy International Women's Day to you. Thank you so much. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we have lots more.
FanZone, your reliable, authentic supplier, has just gotten better. You can now visit our website www.fanzonett.com for your authentic wear and collectibles. The only place where you can use both your Visa debit and credit cards. Visit our website fanzonett.com to make your purchase today.
The best laptops and tablets are at dbesttoys.com. Get a Gateway 14.1-inch Ultra Slim notebook or an HP 14-inch laptop at the best prices in TNT. Get the Fire 7 tablet for $474. You can also shop the latest Amazon Fire Sticks. Call now at 32-DBEST to order, or visit us in-store at Force's flagship MacBean. Shop online now at dbesttoys.com. Free delivery available throughout Trinidad and Tobago. Cash or links on delivery.
What's the best way to grab the attention of viewers?
Please exercise more patience. You have to be kidding me.
Doing what we do best. I'll say at the very least it's a conspiracy of laziness against the people.
Join me, Keaton Shaw.
And me, Sean Michael Small, for Talking Point.
Weekdays from 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m.
We go in depth on the trending issues and engage the most controversial newsmakers
as we get them to account to the people for their actions.
You can't go to the government with nothing. You can't go to cabinet with an empty hand, with a wish.
I'm glad that we're having this a sober, mature discussion.
In the present situation, I expect a continuation of the chaos.
Join us for the discussion, Mondays to Fridays,
only on WESN,
the content capital.
Did you know that polycystic ovarian syndrome, or PCOS, is one of the most common issues faced by women of reproductive age in Trinidad and Tobago?
So we see more patients with polycystic if they're obese, but there are the small-built patients who also have polycystic ovaries.
What other treatment options are there available for these girls? What's Up Doc? Every Tuesday and Thursday on WESN, Content Capital.
Is it politics? What is it? Is it that nobody cares about sports?
The kind of support that sport used to get in the past is no longer here.
The thing is, taking a knee doesn't mean that that's the only thing you're doing on.
Right.
Taking a knee along with other stuff.
Samantha, what are you looking forward to when you return home to Trinidad and Tobago after winning the title?
Thank you very much for speaking it into existence.
Is there no pressure on Nicholas Ball?
It makes me more motivated to work hard and to go out there and rep the red, white and black.
Why are we sending a team to the Winter Olympics?
There are a number of Trinidadians who are in the diaspora and have grown up in winter sport. It's an opportunity that the Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Committee will not close the door on.
I also believe in the players that we have. Once you can motivate the players, you can get the best out of them.
Every day, we communicate through stories. Stories of ourselves, our challenges, our goals, our experiences, and our aspirations. Storytelling is an art that we have mastered. WESN Film Studios comprises a collaborative team of experts with extensive industry experience locally, regionally, and internationally. The ability of your business to successfully communicate with your preferred audience depends on the strength of the stories you tell. Your vision should be communicated in a high-quality, professional, and creative way. From concept to post-production, advertising to film, multi-camera productions, live events, streaming, and virtual conferencing, we are WESN Film Studio. Let your own unique voice be heard and your vision realized. Call us today at 628-5835 for your next production.
For today's final interview, we are talking about nurturing the next generation of heroes. And the best group, the best organization to talk to us about this is the Heroes Foundation. Welcoming via Zoom the CEO, Lawrence Arjun. Thank you for joining us today.
Oh, good morning, Dominic. Thank you very, very much for having me on this morning.
No problem at all. So let's get right into it. Why was the Heroes Foundation created?
That's a good question. Heroes started 20 years ago by our founder, Philip Julian, who wanted to inspire children and youth in Trinidad and Tobago to find the hero within themselves. Because that is how we believe we can build a safe and sustainable society together, by enabling what we call self-sustaining contributors to society. Young people who can build sustainable lives and livelihoods for themselves, and then go on and give back and contribute to building a better society for everyone.
Right. Now, you said 20 years ago the organization would have been first founded. How has that journey, when you would have joined on, how has that journey been? 20 years of impacting the next generation. Talk to us about that, the impact and impact on the lives that you've been able to reach.
20 years is no small feat by any measure. And what Heroes has been doing very well, even from before I came on, is understanding the needs of children and youth in this country, listening to them, creating safe spaces to them, and adapting and evolving over the years to meet their needs. Now, the organization has taken on a number of initiatives and activities over the years, but some things remain at the core.
Right.
That is youth development, helping these young people develop to be their best selves, mentorship, because we believe in a collaborative approach to mentorship, and that mentorship culture being able to really help us share and learn and grow together. Connecting young people to opportunities, be it academic, skills development, employment, through internships or jobs, or just learning about things beyond what they would usually get. And very importantly, empowering youth voices and actions. And over the 20 years, that has taken form and shape in very different ways. Now, I joined Heroes in 2020, in March 2020, 2 weeks before the pandemic. And we had a big plan to go digital and leverage technology for the organization to help it go digital and expand our reach. And then, 2 weeks into it, pandemic hit, we had to fast track and change everything. And this is where I really saw the passion and the power of the team. Because I come from energy, so my background is energy. I've worked in the energy sector most of my life, and I understand digital transformation like the back of my hand.
Right.
This is an organization that's focused on youth.
Yes.
And they did not let that understanding be a problem for them, because they were on calls with me from 7 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock in the night, learning about Microsoft Enterprise, looking at us building our SharePoints, building our team sites, educating themselves, because they then had to go on and educate children and teachers and parents about digital, so that we can get the children on board.
Yes.
And I'm very proud to say that by the start of April, we were able to move at least 250 children onto our digital platform to get them connected to continue the work during the pandemic.
That is absolutely amazing, because we've seen where the pandemic would have halted a lot of work within the community, a lot of core services that would have been needed, especially, based on the pandemic and the issues that would have come out of it. It's amazing that the work did not stop. What does that look like now? Now that, restrictions have lessened, we're back outside in a sense. What does that look like? How have you been able to incorporate that digital advancement of the organization now?
So going back to the 4 pillars that we spoke about, really honing in now on this development and mentorship part, which is at the core. We have a program called the Heroes Development Program.
Okay.
Now that focuses on the psychosocial development of children and youth and sustainability education. So psychosocial development means their mental health and well-being, but also how they connect to the world around them, how they interact with the world around them. And that's a big thing. So we did an assessment at the start of 2021. Wait, what do you have? 2022?
Yes.
Because in 2022, we did a mental health and well-being, a psychosocial assessment. And we found that 95% of the children we assessed were at risk of emotional behavioral problems. And that is they had problems and challenges understanding their internal states, understanding their thoughts and their feelings and their emotions, adapting to change, responding to stress. And that showed up even more after the pandemic. There was about 200 children we assessed, locals and migrants. And that 95% really, really worried us. But I mean, Heroes has been, that's why Heroes has been around, that psychosocial assessment. So listening to them, giving them support and that mental health and well-being. When it comes to sustainability education, for us, that shows up as year one, equality and elimination of violence. Because that is fundamental. Those are fundamental values towards building a safe and sustainable society. Year two, we focus on energy and environmental sustainability. Because the environment is really important to young people. But we live on an island where energy is our lifeblood. So how do we help the children to understand that so that they can help us find that balance together going forward? Because it's a critical balance to find for islands such as Trinidad and Tobago. And in year three, the focus is on personal development and career development, because all of the work that we are doing will be for nothing if these children cannot find jobs, create jobs, and build sustainable livelihoods for themselves. So that's one part. That's a youth development part that we have down to a T. What we've been working on, and I mean, I really want to shout out my partners here, UNICEF and the Pan American Development Foundation. They have been with us since I came on board. They helped us, UNICEF helped us revise the curriculum with digitizing the curriculum, using a lot of videos that we're putting up on our Heroes Academy platform so that people outside of our programs could access it. And PADF has helped us expand and support the migrant community over the last few years. And what we've been working on over the past 2 years to really bring in, like how we do youth development is one, the technical skills training. We did financial management. We did project-based learning over as part of Heroes for these last 20 years. We're expanding that into technology skills and to other skills that we will be announcing and talking about in the next few months. So we finally got away with some really great international partners to make that concrete and comprehensive and connected youth development. And the third part is that employability. So we've been able to, over the years, get children connected to internships and jobs. We've put a new structure into that, and we're really ramping that up again with some local and international partners to connect these young people with the technical skills, but also with the job opportunities so that they can learn and grow with mentorship and really develop and shape, not just get jobs, but help shape the future of the workplace that they are going to be the ones inheriting and leading.
There's so much good in what you said in terms of the initiatives and the focus on the holistic aspect of the youth. So not just on, their development in terms of, their activities, but also their mindset as well. What sort of challenges would you be up against, going into this with the young persons? Because, you're training them in, I guess, incubator sense, but then they still have to go back home. They still have to go into the real world. So what sort of challenges have you and the team faced, and how have you been able to navigate that?
Well, the number one challenge that we face as an organization is funding, because development is work. And we have to explain and show people that investing in young people is worth the investment on one part, but it also takes money to do. It takes work. And I mean, I personally believe that people who care and people who want to help others should not be suffering to live while they help others.
Correct.
That's one thing. The other thing is, yes, young people are dynamic creatures. They are faced with a suite of problems. Young people need multifaceted support. Multifaceted support is expensive. Heroes cannot do everything. No organization can do everything. It requires collaboration. It requires a system that supports this. So our focus has always been understanding the needs of the children and listening to them to help shape the interventions where we can directly support. That's how we do our problem tree assessment in determining what the program looks like, what parts of the curriculum are delivered. We also work closely with the schools and with the authorized adults, the parents or guardians, because you are right, they are in this environment. We have some amazing support from some teachers and some principals in the schools who help us do the work we do. We cannot cannot do the work without them. So we do needs assessments with the schools to understand what the schools are going through, what the challenges they are facing, what the challenges they are seeing with the young people, factor that into the interventions, but work very closely with them to help them understand what we are doing, where we need their support, where they need our support, and how do we support the children and to do interventions in the school. Because another part of what we do is making sure that these young people can go back into their schools, go back into their home, go back in their communities and lead interventions.
Okay.
And we work with the parents. And that's something that we know we need to do a lot more work on, but we've tried our very best to bring them in. We saw it with the technology, because as the children started to use digital more, the parents were concerned. Why is my child on the computer so much? Why is my child on the phone so much? So we had to bring them in and help them understand what was happening, show them the tools so that they can monitor as well the children and see what they're doing. That's one approach. The other part is collecting data. For us, it's very important to collect data that we then share with the decision makers, which is the government. And I want to say I'm very hopeful from what we have seen thus far. The example I will give is the draft National Child Safeguarding and Protection Framework that the Office of the Prime Minister Gender and Child Affairs has worked on. Now, they roll out a child policy. Again, I came from energy. So HSSE is the Bible. Health and safety is the Bible. When I came across here, finding guidelines for working with children and youth was not as easy. Reached out to the Office of the Prime Minister, Gender and Child Affairs, because this is their remit. Found out about the National Child Policy, a great thing that they put in place to help guide it. Because yes, we know things were not in place.
Right.
We accept that, but they have been working. Okay. And it was a learning for me, interacting with them to find out about these things, find out about the work that was being done on the safeguarding framework, which is in draft form, and I'm looking forward to seeing that roll out because that is transformational. The child abuse investigation, the child abuse task force, that was another thing that we were able to support and see through with clear actions, because we implemented a safeguarding and protection framework in the organization when I came in to make sure that we protect these children from any risk. I mean, Heroes has been doing it rigorously with the Big Brothers, Big Sisters as our standard, because that's an international standard, but we expanded it even more to bring in everyone into not only the protection, but the education around safeguarding and protection. So all of the information that we're collecting here, all of the information about the mental health and well-being, we're sharing with the different ministries that we work with. Obviously, the Prime Minister, Gender and Child Affairs, Ministry of Education, who's been very receptive of the information and very willing to listen to what we have to say. So we're hoping the more data we collect about children, the more that helps to influence our national development agenda and the things we put in place to support children and youth in the country.
Awesome, awesome. Now, let's talk about the Big Brother, Big Sister program. In regards to, recently we saw where someone in the public eye was brought into a school to speak to students. However, the action by the school is now being called into question by the public, by the ministry because of the lifestyle and the brand of the person. Let's talk about the heroism aspect of the Heroes Foundation and, how important it is when selecting someone who's going to be an exemplar, who's going to be a mentor, a big brother, big sister.
So I won't talk about that particular incident because I do not have enough information about that.
Yes.
But I will say when it comes to us connecting people with children and youth, we are very rigorous in that process.
Right.
Because I personally believe that everyone has a story to share.
Yes.
Everyone's story and experiences is valuable. What we want to make sure of is when we connect people, children and youth, the young people, one, they can be authentic. They can open up and respond to the children and share these stories so that these children learn from them. Two, they can point children and youth in the direction that they need to go, in the direction where we understand. I mean, my personal view is that this secondary school age generation is the most neglected generation that we have. A lot of good support and a lot of good work is going into primary school, which is critical and needed and very important because that is going to lay a solid foundation for our future. The 20 to 30-year-olds, they grew up in a time where I mean, we've got so much influence coming in from outside.
Yes.
That their perspective is a more challenging And I think some work needs to be done there in helping, in understanding why things are the way they are. Because the ideas that they have are important and real and very valuable, but finding the connection between why things are the way they are right now, where we need them to be, and how do we move it across without just breaking down everything. If we break down everything, something has to fill the gap, and if we have nothing to fill it, we're going to end up in a worse situation. But this secondary age group, I think they've generally been neglected by society because they have so much issues that older people may not quite relate to or understand, but they are also connected to this. You see this? They understand this better than the rest of us. And since TikTok came on board, that has changed the world dynamically. They connected to so much information and activities. They're seeing things on unregulated social media platforms where the content and the information coming to them has no standard. So when you're generally not connected to activities or initiatives that engage you, and you're seeing all these things that you think is cool or popular, that people seem to, because social media, everybody has a different personality, and all sorts of things come up in social media. You're seeing those things and you're thinking those things are cool. That's what's shaping a lot of this age group's mind. But there's an opportunity there to help these young people know what is best for them, or how to understand and think critically about what are the consequences of actions, what is the impact of actions beyond just what I'm experiencing at this time. And that's the opportunity that we try to get to at Heroes, so that they can think critically about it themselves. One 14-year-old in our program said this, and I tell everybody this. We're talking about equality and elimination of violence, and the topic of sex and consent came up. And they raised concerns about some of the things that they were being told in school that I will not repeat on television. But it was very concerning that teachers were telling children things that are not based in fact. And they know. They're sensible. Children are smart, sensible creatures. They understand things. So if things would make sense, they will know. And if they feel like they cannot trust you to tell them the truth, they'll stop listening to you. And she said, whatever we do not learn in school, that you can bet that there's a man in our inbox telling us what they think we want to hear. And if we have nobody to listen to us, and they're listening to us, we will listen to them. And that was a huge wake-up call for us. Because that is the reality that children live in this country, especially because they're connected so much to technology.
Wow. You're listening to this interview, and persons may want to get involved in the movement somehow, whether to become a mentor, whether to donate, whether they know children who can be a part of this. How do they get in touch with the organization? Where do they get more information?
Sure. So you can reach out via the social media platforms. You can email us at info@theheroesfoundation.com, or you can call us at 218-HERO, and we can start telling you more. Now, if anybody wants to volunteer and help us with communication, we need that help. Definitely. Our website is good, but it really doesn't capture in-depth the information that we have. I mean, our focus has always been on program delivery, but we rely on help and support to do all the other things that we just do not have the funding to hire staff to do. So the information that you get coming out in a timely fashion on our social media isn't quite there, but there's a lot of good information there about the work that we do. But if you want to really find out more, if you want to get in more, just reach out, give us a call, shoot us an email, send us a message, and we will have that conversation.
Thank you so much, Lawrence, for the work that you're doing, you and the team at the Heroes Foundation. Thank you for taking some time out of your morning to join us today to really share about it. All the best to you. Persons that are interested, reach out to them, volunteer your time, show support. All right, so we are going to wrap up today's show. We thank you so much for staying with us. Our inspiration bit for today is it's love with action. So love is not just a noun, it's a verb. Everything that we do can be driven with love, with passion. How we treat others, how we treat ourselves, how we do our jobs, we do it with love. When you do things driven by love, it makes the difference. It makes what may be a difficult task seem like something that is possible because you're doing it out of love. You're doing it genuinely. We thank you for staying with us this morning. We hope that you have a great day. Remember, if you want an interview, you can simply reach out to us via email amprimewesn@gmail.com. You can also WhatsApp or call us at 868-620-1331. Stay safe. Remember to wash your hands, sanitize, and if you do not feel well, stay at home. Have a great day.
WESN.
I am Sule A. Joseph, and we are WESN, Content Capital.
The issue, the continued rise in the price of flour and its impact on the cost of living in Trinidad and Tobago. How should we go about it? I want to ask you what has been revealed to you about the state of vulnerability in the country because of this exercise and because of what we're going through. Is the government losing the war on the vaccine front?
The discussion should revolve around the common good for the greatest number of people in Trinidad and Tobago.
How do we inculcate a sense of respect and regard for people who may not be of your own political ilk or persuasion?
The communities are now being used by political opportunists. So
when the tables are turned, it's the same way. Okay, this has been 10 questions. I'm Andy Johnson, and we'll see you next time.
What's the best way to grab the attention of viewers?
Please exercise more patience. You have to be kidding me.
Doing what we do best. I'll say at the very least it's a conspiracy of laziness against the people.
Join me, Keaton Shaw.
And me, Sean Michael Small, for Talking Point.
Weekdays from 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m.
We go in-depth on the trending issues and engage the most controversial newsmakers
as we get them to account to the people for their actions.
You can't go to the government with nothing. You can't go to cabinet with an empty hand, with a wish.
I'm glad that we're having this a sober, mature discussion.
In the present situation, I expect a continuation of the chaos.
Join us for the discussion, Mondays to Fridays,
only on WESN,
the Content Capital.
With society plagued by a host of issues, with debates surrounding our urgent concerns falling short, with questions of our future not always being answered,
the conversation continues. Join me, Kemuel Pascal, as the voice of the youth comes to life. We will confront the controversial topics of today's world to gain answers that are key for a better tomorrow. One and One with me, Kemuel Pascal. Wednesdays at 10.